Hello, all my lovelies, and thanks for tuning in to Chapter 5 of Healing Behind the Scenes. Today, I wanted to talk about consistency and perseverance because a lot of people don't realize how important it is to actually be consistent and persevere. One quote that I heard in the past few months says, you have to trust your intuition before it makes sense. And honestly, when I heard that, I was in the middle of trying to trust my intuition before it made sense. So, like, it came right on time. The thing is, that is easier said than done, okay? There's gonna be times where your intuition, you have that gut feeling telling you one thing, but reality says another. So it's like, um, I'm supposed to trust what I don't see. Like, I'm gonna be looking crazy now. I'll be looking crazy if I do this. But it's like deep down, that's what you need to do. But it's like, but nothing around me shows me to believe in this specific thing or this specific person. And that's okay. This is where, like I said in the last episode, when you're in your highs and you're developing those routines, those rituals to help you get through the tough times, that's when this applies. Okay, so on a high day, that sounds okay. Anyways, on a day where you are vibrating at a higher frequency, if you can, try to learn a new ritual, a new technique to keep you in high spirits. So, for example, one thing that I remember learning at one time is cleansing baths and cleansing showers. Okay, and this was like before I've never taken a bath, so I was like, oh, okay, and so long story short, I ended up learning on different ways to create bath solutions and stuff like that. Now I'm 5'9", okay? I'm too tall to be trying to take a bath in my tub that I have now. So eventually I'm moving, okay? So definitely looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've learned that although you're making a bath solution, you don't necessarily have to be taking the bath. You could literally be taking the shower, and pour the solution over yourself, and that's a cleansing bath, so to speak. There's also, or before I even learned about that, there's also a way where you can like charge your shower head and use that as cleansing. There's many different ways you can go about it, okay? You just gotta go with what your gut tells you. So, okay, I learned about the cleansing bath solutions and that. Okay, so when I got to the point where things weren't going the best, I remembered about that. Okay, you have to be willing to learn, because I remember hearing, although I was a Christian at this point, when I heard this, it was saying the spirit only knows what you allow it to learn. Okay, it was, the quote was talking, the wherever I heard that was talking more about the Holy Spirit, but that applies to your actual spirit. Your spirit is a Holy Spirit. Okay, so as you learn more things, your spirit latches onto that knowledge, that wisdom, and when you need it, it's gonna come up. Okay, so when you're in your dark times, this is gonna come up. Okay, so this is where being consistent and persevering comes through, because as you continue to build on your knowledge, your skills, what you're learning, you allow your spirit to latch onto that information and let it come to surface when you need it. So talking about when you're trusting your intuition when things don't make sense. Let's say you're in the middle of a trial, okay? You're at a low vibration and you don't see your way out. You don't see how you're going to get out of whatever you're going through. You don't see how you're going to get out of that abyss, right? This is where, for example, you could refer, or your spirit could refer you to those cleansing baths. Yeah, this is where you'll probably remember, hey, I remember learning about how to cleanse myself, or, do this or that so I can feel better, or at least remove these negative energies that are trying to swallow me whole. Okay? And then trusting your intuition before it makes sense. You're basically like, okay, this may be my first time of doing this. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to trust that it's going to work because my gut is telling me to do this. So it requires being patient. And even before it makes sense, just trusting that eventually it's going to make sense. Okay? And I can say this because I actually went through this in the past few days when the new year was starting, right? Like before the new year, into the new year. I normally do a releasing ritual and a setting intentions for the new moon, right? So, again, what was coming up was the bath. Like, I'm literally just talking about what I went through not too long ago. So what came up was doing the bath, and I'm like, okay, and I went off of what I remembered hearing, but I made it my own. And initially, I know about crystals and stuff like that, and I trust in the power and the vibrations that are in crystals. So, I implemented crystals and roses and da 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 da. And, it was my first time doing that, and I just had to believe that it was going to work, that I had to believe that it was working in my favor. So, I took my standing shower cleansing bath, and I'm like, I'm at this moment, I'm going to choose to believe that anything that doesn't need to be attached to me is being removed. Like, I washed my hair with it and everything. It was all natural. Don't worry. I washed my hair with it and everything. And, I just had to believe that it was working out in my favor. Now that I look back, and that was literally earlier this week. Now that I look back, right, I do remember feeling better. I do remember feeling cleansed after it. And then I remember I did it I was intuitively led to do it another time. And I noticed that I actually felt a little worse before I felt better. But now that I'm thinking about it and I'm listening to what Spirit has to say, I realize that cleansing bath, it of course removed the surface, the issues that were on the surface, what needed to be cleansed on the surface, but it also started diving into myself, because I realized, I said this in the previous chapter, where certain things from like when I was like a teenager would come up. Okay, not the Barbie. The Barbie was just an example, but like, just a lot of people don't realize this, but when you're growing up, there's a lot of times where you may hear a no. Okay, you may get a no. Like, I want this Barbie doll. I can't think of anything else for some reason. I want this Barbie doll. You hear no. I want this Barbie house. You hear no. Okay, so throughout our lifetime as children and into adults, we hear no a lot. A lot of people don't understand that sometimes you'll take it personal. Sometimes we take it personal, and we end up keeping that no in our body, okay? And that creates a blockage that needs to be removed. So when it comes to releasing, when it comes to allowing yourself to just be in your spiritual healing, this is the type of stuff that gets removed. Okay, it was a no. It took 2 seconds to get that no, and the next topic came up, but that shit stays in your body. What if that's why your knee is hurting? What if that's why your back is hurting? What if that's why you keep getting migraines that you cannot understand and doctors cannot explain? A lot of stuff that we go through stays in our body. So it's very important to learn how to release. It's very important to stay to persevere and follow your intuition as you start to develop it, so you can release what no longer serves you. Okay, so through perseverance and just trusting spirit before it makes sense, things start to work out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I ain't gonna keep you too long. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.